In this video, I'm going to show you how to use an infant base with a locking clip. Now, a locking clip is one of those last resort situations if you can't get a good tight fit with any of the other ways that we've showed you so far. Now, we always use a locking clip with the seatbelt. And the locking clip looks like this, and it comes actually on your seat. Now, one of the reasons you may use a locking clip is if you happen to have an older vehicle where maybe your seatbelt, there's no locking mechanism on your seatbelt except for that emergency locking retractor. So the seatbelt won't stay tight during normal driving. Another reason we might use a locking clip is when we have the car seat installed with the seatbelt and we start pulling on that seatbelt to get it tight. Every time the seatbelt tightens, the car seat will shift and get crooked. If this happens, we can correct it with a locking clip. So similar to the first video that we showed you on how to install this infant base with your seatbelt, it's similar except we're not going to lock our seatbelt. We'll use our locking clip instead as the locking mechanism. So remember to always check to make sure your recline angle is correct before you start threading the seatbelt through. So leave the seatbelt in the non-locking mode. Thread the seatbelt through the belt path and make sure that the belts are not twisted. Now normally I would lock the seatbelt at this point, but I'm not going to do that. All I'm going to do is tighten the seatbelt. So one hand goes into the seat, the other hand grabs the top portion of the belt and pulls towards me. Now I'm going to pinch off the seatbelt on this side to make sure that the seatbelt doesn't go back into the retractor. Unbuckle the seat. And this really is a two-person job because you need someone to actually thread the locking clip for you. Now I'm going to show you in a second what I've done, but I can't yet or else I'll lose both my belts. Okay, so now that I have it on, I can let go. And what I did was I threaded both pieces of the seatbelt through the locking clip on the latch plate side, not over here, but where the latch plate is. It should be within an inch of this latch plate, okay? So what I've done is I've basically taken this lap portion of the belt and shortened it. So the lap portion of the belt is where I need it to be in order for the seat to be tight. This shoulder portion can be loose. That doesn't hold the car seat in place. It's the lap portion. So the tricky part is getting it rebuckled, okay? Because you've shortened everything. So thread it back through and reattach your latch plate into the buckle. Okay, so you notice I had to get my knee in there. Normally you have another person with you that can put some weight onto the seat. Because I'm by myself, I had to put as much weight as I could. Okay, so once I have it rebuckled, I'm ready to check my work. So again, we're grabbing it down here at the belt path and checking to make sure that the car seat will not move more than an inch from side to side or front to back. And that's in there nice and tight. So this will keep, the locking clip will keep the car seat secured during normal driving. In the event of a crash, your seatbelt system will kick in and automatically lock and hold everything in place. So the idea for this locking clip is just to keep your car seat tight during normal driving. So if we're using the locking clip, we don't switch the seatbelt over to the locking mode. It's one locking point. Now that I have my base secured, I'm ready to put my carrier in. Make sure that the carrier is secured onto the base, and you're at this point able to place your child in your seat. Bring the harness over the child's shoulders. Make sure they're at or below. Ensure that the chest clip is at armpit level. Tighten the harness up, and then check with the pinch test to make sure that it is snug enough on the body. Remember, the handle can be placed down here by the child's feet, or it can be just behind the shell. Don't let that vehicle seat, that front vehicle seat, touch the carrier. We don't want it jammed up against there. There should be some space, at least 1.5 inches between the vehicle seat and the car seat. And this is how you properly install your infant base using a seatbelt system with a locking clip.